What did I wait? What did I just watch? Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the channel. If this is your first time here, hello. How are you doing? We are going to be reacting to Kennen, the Heart of the Tempest, for the very first time. Now, I've reacted to a lot of champions, you know, kind of around Kennen, pretty much all of them at this point, right? Shen, Akali, etc., etc. So this is going to be an interesting reaction to see what's going on from Kennen's perspective. Also, not technically our last Yordle in our reactions just yet, but it is fun to get to another Yordle, especially one that technically is out of Bandle City. Did he start in Bandle City? I don't know. Let's truly find out. All right, the quote says, "I exist across realms in the space between lightning strike and thunder's call, the true balance within the storm." That's a pretty cool quote. Role is mage, region Ionia. We have Akali, Shen, and Zed as our related champions. Like I said, I have reacted to all of these champions already, so if you're interested, go take a look at any of those reactions I have up on the channel. Our paragraph says, "The longest standing member of the ancient Kinku order, the Yordle Kennen is the first and only Heart of the Tempest. For centuries, he has used diplomacy and force to maintain the sacred balance in his adopted home of Ionia." Okay, so adopted home. Lightning fast and bearing the wisdom of a long and storied life, Kennen works with the Eye of Twilight, Shen, to protect the fragile harmony of the First Lands with a whirling storm of shuriken and devastating electrical energy. Okay, I mean, I'm excited to get into Kennen here. Let's go right into this biography. A riotous domain of constant transformation, Bandle City was no place for a Yordle like Kennen. Searching for harmony and balance, he ventured out from the spirit realm millennia ago. He explored the material realm with boundless curiosity, traveling great distances in a heartbeat, but he was drawn in particular to Ionia. So, all right, millennia ago, there we go. We already have it established. He left Bandle City a long time ago. In the First Lands, he witnessed ancient wars that none now remember, and a land struggling to rebuild afterward. Kennen grew fascinated by a people seeking balance for themselves and their home. Over time, he returned to Bandle City less and less, choosing to remain in Ionia, where Yordles were respected as creatures of the spirit realm. Though he did not age as beings of the material realm did, Kennen embraced mortals, studying them for generations. He admired how, despite their fragile lives, they were diligent protectors of the sacred balance. Even so, there were threats to the tranquility of Ionia. Malevolent entities of the spirit realm traversed the lands with ill intent. Kennen battled these disturbances alone for years, enjoying the fun each challenge brought. But in the end, he understood he was doing little to address why the incursions were happening: imbalance. He discovered a fledgling order whose members actively pursued balance between the realms, who after careful observation would judge what needed to be done to restore it. They called themselves the Kinku. Kennen was intrigued by the order, led by a distant Eye of Twilight and a vindictive Fist of Shadow. He realized that the Kinku's leadership required another aspect, a consensus builder, one who would prevent the warlike Fist from domineering over the introspective Eye, and likewise keep the Eye's tireless observation from paralyzing the Fist. So kind of like a middleman, right? As a creature of both the spirit and material realms, Kennen proposed that he was uniquely suited to be an arbiter. The order accepted Kennen's wisdom, and he became the Kinku's first Heart of the Tempest. As part of the new triumvirate with the Eye of Twilight and the Fist of Shadow, Kennen passed judgment on how best to preserve balance, and his affability and diplomacy kept the Kinku in harmony. Moreover, Kennen noticed that a rift had grown between the order and the people around them. As judgments were carried out swiftly, mysteriously, and without chance for appeal, again, the Yordle realized he could fill a need for the Kinku. With his fantastic speed and compassion, he was the ideal representative to communicate the judgments of the order to those affected by them. He'd seen how the Kinku distanced themselves from the people, wearing masks over their faces, and took care to remove his to connect with those he sought to protect. Okay, so empathy coming from Kennen, and then there's already been multiple mentions of his speed, right? I imagine he's lightning fast, right? Yet there was another side to Kennen, a far more serious aspect as Heart of the Tempest. Charged with coursing the sun, he addressed challenges to the Kinku's judgments, and not always with words. For sometimes the cost of balance was the blood of the offender, and Kennen's shuriken and summoned maelstroms were quite capable of silencing all dissent. There have been many threats to the Kinku over the centuries, but none as grave as the Noxian invasion and its aftermath. When Noxus invaded the First Lands, Kennen opposed joining the resistance, even as the war threatened to tear the Kinku apart. Okay, so he was a pacifist. In their darkest hour, after a coup led by a former acolyte named Zed, the Yordle guided the order, while the new Eye of Twilight Shen struggled to lead. Kennen urged the Fist of Shadow, Mame, to look to her daughter Akali, whom he trained since childhood, and see her as a successor. But even he couldn't find the words to stop Akali from eventually leaving the Kinku, frustrated at the order's failure to act against Ionia's enemies, and we are obviously all caught up on that. Recent events, though, have tested Kennen. A new age of disruption and violence has thrown Ionia into chaos. Come what may, he will protect the fractured Kinku order, fighting alongside Shen to defend the balance of the First Lands. Do not let Kennen's diminutive appearance fool you, for the Heart of the Tempest is its calmest part, but when it turns its eye upon you, its force is never more than a moment behind. Ooh, I love that ending. That's actually really cool. Now, I have seen the cinematic. Obviously, there's the season cinematic. I forget which year, but but there's, you know, where you get to see Irelia, basically a bunch of Ionians come and fight the Noxus back, and Kennen does appear in that, I do recall. Okay, this was a really cool and interesting biography of Kennen. It really goes to show, like I said, the empathy coming from him when he was like really helping out some of the people in the Kinku Order, as well as maybe like his patience and maybe how knowledgeable he is. He started off first by observing the Kinku Order, and then also he started off by observing why the incursions were happening. So he definitely seems to be a patient and intelligent Yordle for sure. All right, let's just go right into the story. Between light and shadows. Kennen had not slowed since setting off from the great temple of Koshin. The colors of the land formed a swirling palette as he flitted over hills and cliffs, plains and plateaus. The Yordle was like a speeding dot amid broad strokes painted on canvas. As the Kinku's heart of the Tempest, he had delivered the judgment of the Order's leadership thousands of times before, but this time it's different, Kennen thought. This time it's about the lives of my Kinku brothers and sisters. An urgent request had come from a branch of acolytes to the south. Their temple had been corrupted by an unknown evil spirit. They could find no way to repel it, and so they sought aid from the Kinku Triumvirate. With Akali's former role as Fist of Shadow currently unfilled, this Triumvirate consisted of just two leaders, Shen, the Eye of Twilight, and Kennen. They had made a decision, and now Kennen raced to distant Raishai on the southern coast of Zun. When Noxus invaded Ionia many seasons ago, the Triumvirate ruled that the Kinku would not be involved in the war. The Raishai acolytes had been among the Order's most faithful, supporting the edict without question, and for that I must save them. Okay, there we go. Kennen followed a churning river and dashed across ample golden grassland. Bolting through the misty forests of the southern Shan Mountains, he was like lightning zipping through clouds. He passed a series of ruins, including the village of Schwanen. Man, they're giving me some crazy names that I haven't heard of in League yet. It was until he reached the harbor town of Averni that Kennen came to a halt under the morning sun. Zun's shore was across the strait beyond shimmering blue waters. Kennen boarded the first ferry just before it set sail. Its mast was a living tree grown out of the hull, branches arcing backward, massive leaves catching the sea breeze like membranes on the wings of a southern isle wyvern. That's an interesting description. There was a loose crowd on the ferry with Kennen the only Yordle. The humans tipped their heads to him. Yordles were treated with respect among Ionians, even when the spirit creatures appeared in their true form, as Kennen did now, as he always did, for he had achieved a state of balance through his Kinku training, especially through the teachings of the first great master, Tagasiri, the first Fist of Shadow. Oh, interesting name drop. Okay, when Kennen joined the Kinku centuries ago, Tagasiri had inquired what the Yordle admired most about humans. Oh, here we go. Your stories. You have so many. Kennen's eyes were wide. Your lives are short, but your stories preserve what you hold most dear. That's why you're better suited for safeguarding the realms than any of the Undying. Under what clear... Wow, that's an interesting take from Kennen, honestly. Under that clear sky in the blazing sun, Kennen had shared his thoughts on what role he could play for the Kinku. The Great Master listened and considered his words. Someday, all of you will die, Kennen added cheerfully. I'd like to bear your stories, the story of the Kinku. Great Master Tagasiri had smiled then. That is a noble idea and not a small responsibility. I can begin now by delivering our verdicts to the people. Very well, said the Great Master. Your role shall be coursing the sun, to shine the light of our judgment and be the force that mediates between that light and its shadows. Kennen stirred from his reverie as the dock came into view under chalky white cliffs, crowned by an emerald expanse of trees. He waved a clawed hand at the passengers behind him, and they wished him fair winds and swift travel. He jumped off the ferry even before it slowed to dock, skipping over water and onto land. A storm was beginning to brew. Kennen's Kinku robes and mask were soaking wet as he charged through pouring rain and he went on without food or rest. I hope I'm not too late. Now, does like this storm actually help his powers? I wonder actually. Dark clouds whirled low, pierced by lightning as the Yordle leader arrived. Kennen noted 20 acolytes sitting in front of the Raishai temple. The building appeared unremarkable, solid, and intact. Master Kennen, you're here. The head of the acolytes, Heda, stood in deference, but his limbs quaked, his knees buckling under him. You need to help us fight the baleful spirit that plagues our temple. The rest of the acolytes slowly rose, their eyes glassy. Kennen was hoping that he and Shen had been wrong, but now their worst fear was confirmed. He felt a pang of sadness. They've been so loyal. There's nothing to be fought, Kennen told Heda, his voice soft with grief. The temple isn't corrupted. It's you. All of you. A riot of noise broke out. Several acolytes tilted their heads, glaring. Corrupted? Heda's eyes bored into Kennen. We have always obeyed. Long ago, when you told us not to fight the Noxian invaders, we stood by while our people were slaughtered. His face contorted unnaturally as it had melted. And then, when our fellow Ionians in Tula, Kashuri, and Huroi called for aid, you bade us not to heed them. And again, we obeyed. We've forsaken the opportunity to bring justice to Noxus. You're filled with anguish, Kennen said. The malevolent entities of the spirit realm are feeding on it. They're feeding on you. Whoa, what? Okay, this is kind of crazy. Kennen could see what the humans could not. Dark smoke emanated from them, like tentacles bursting from their bodies. They were surrounded by inky tendrils that sought to devour, creatures clawing out of the spirit realm with greater force as their prey grew more agitated. Eventually, they would consume these Kinku and wreak havoc in Raishai. Holy, dude, I want this as a cinematic so bad. That would be cool to see. The world is changing, he said. Zune has descended into turmoil, and you are torn between what the Kinku demands of you and what your hearts desire. He paused, then said what he came to say. I'm releasing you from the order. You're banishing us, said an acolyte in the back row. You can't preserve the balance between realms in the state. Kennen looked at each acolyte in turn. I need to get through to them. Leave the Kinku now. This is the only way you can heal. Do what you will so your dark emotions don't destroy you. You want to get rid of us now that we're no longer useful to you? This is dishonor. Heda flashed his blade. The acolytes howled in unison, unaware that shadowy talons were grasping at them with voracious intent. Kennen could feel their pain, the kind born out of the rift between two worlds of belief, the kind Akali had felt before she left. Yet he let lightning crackle between his hands. Don't think to test me. Snarling, Heda and several acolytes charged forward. The small Yordle waltzed between the clumsy humans, easily evading all attack. He clicked his clawed fingers, and arcs of electricity rippled out, dropping his attackers in one ferocious burst. Oh, this would be so cool to see as a cinematic. Okay. They moaned as they twitched on the muddy ground. The rest stopped, uncertain about what to do. Grief, guilt, shame. The acolytes' faces were masks of agony. The rain washing over the ichor, oozing from their eyes. Kennen flipped away out of range and sighed. Then he remembered something he had learned from humans. Sometimes to tell a story is to lie. Let your story be mine to tell. He pulled down his mask, which he knows, like in the biography, he pulls down his mask to show like empathy, right? Go now in peace. The sinister influence will remain in Zune, but the Kinku will hear you fought hard against it before you left the order with honor. Damn, and he's even giving them a good story in the end. So really, Kennen is all about stories. He's like the master of stories for the Kinku Order and humans, I guess, really in the First Lands or Ionia. The acolytes' eyes were cleared for a moment, and the dark vapor began to dissipate. No one spoke, but some nodded their understanding to the Yordle. Eventually, those who could gathered their wounded. It was always tough to watch old comrades go, but Kennen knew it was for the best. They had devoted themselves to the Kinku, and now they were free to find a new purpose. Their mental state could regain balance, and the malevolent entities would have nothing to feed on. The Yordle watched as the former acolytes stumbled away into the gloom. The rain did not abate. The drenched humans looked small and vulnerable. Someday, all of you will die, Kennen thought, sorrow gripping his heart, but I will bear your story. Honestly, dang, that was so good. This was so good. And I'm wondering if like in some of these stories, because I can literally picture this entire story as a cinematic. It would be a really cool story in my opinion. Him on the ferry and then like the little flashback with his master Tagasiri or the great master Tagasiri, maybe little shots of Shen and Akali. And then we have this confrontation at the temple. I think it would have been such a good cinematic. I understand, I've said that probably about majority of the stories, but I think it would have been really cool to see Kennen kind of bear the story of this group of acolytes here. Yeah, so this has made me appreciate Kennen a lot. He truly cares for humans. He likes the stories that they tell and the stories that they bring with them, and he's starting to understand more clearly from this story. He's understanding sometimes you have to fabricate a lie to tell a good story or have a good story in the end. Very interesting little read here. I enjoyed that quite a bit. All right, everybody, let's keep going on with the reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the story, though, in the comments. All right, time to take a look at Kennen's abilities in game. Roll Mage, difficulty medium. Now, I say this all the time, but I believe I've seen him a little bit in Teamfight Tactics, and that's literally the extent of what I've seen. All right, so his passive, Mark of the Storm. Kennen stuns enemies he hits 3 times with his abilities. That's pretty solid. That's real good. I love the cohesiveness of his abilities here, too, like the images. It's just straight lightning and all of that. Okay, we have Thundering Shuriken. That's the Q. Kennen throws a fast-moving shuriken towards a location, causing damage and adding a Mark of the Storm to any opponent that it hits. Oh, I want to see the video. There you go. You got the little mark there. All right, so then we have the W, which is Electrical Surge. Let's see it. Kennen passively deals extra damage and adds a Mark of the Storm to his target every few attacks, and he can activate this ability to damage and add another Mark of the Storm to targets who are already marked. Okay, so it's all about marking people. Mark of the Storm, the passive is all about hitting the same person 3 times with abilities to stun them. So yeah, that I understand what kind of mage it seems like he is. Then we have Lightning Rush. damage. Oh, interesting. Kennen morphs into a lightning form, enabling him to pass through units and apply a mark of the storm. What? He literally goes through them. That's interesting. Kennen gains the move speed when entering this form and attack speed when leaving it. So it looks like, you know, obviously you probably don't take damage when you're in that lightning form. So, you know, you can use it aggressively, you can use it defensively, I assume. So, okay. Interesting abilities, I will say. These are all very weird. All, you know, a little bit relying on Mark of the Storm, of course. Now, what is the ultimate? It is called Slicing Maelstrom. The video not loading. Okay, hold on. The video. Ah, he just walks in the round and then it does all of the, okay, the video's lagging. But anyways, Kennen summons a storm that strikes at nearby enemy champions for magical damage. So it's an AoE, it's around him, and it strikes them for magical damage. Pretty cool. You know, I've seen the cinematic, of course, with Kennen where he just like rushes in and then I think he does the Slicing Maelstrom. That's the guess. Oh, and I think he maybe does Lightning Rush as well in that cinematic. It might be cool to take a look at that part of it again after I've seen his abilities. From the mages that I've seen in this game, which I've seen many of them, somehow Kennen stands out. He seems different, especially with the reliance on the Mark of the Storm. His abilities don't seem, you know, they don't just seem like straight mage abilities that do damage. While they do that, there's the importance of hitting an enemy 3 times or like putting marks on the same enemy, right? So there's really like a little bit more difficulty maybe there than maybe is let on with the Marks of the Storm, or maybe it's actually just really easy. But all right, anyways, you guys know me. I want to hear from you. How is Kennen in the game currently? Would you say he's on the stronger side, on the weaker side regarding, you know, his role, regarding mages, regarding his lane? I'd love to hear you guys' comments on Kennen in the current meta of League. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to actually watch the Kennen Wild Rift video as well, just to get a little bit of an extra idea what's going on in these abilities. Okay, the Heart of the Tempest. Oh, going right into that ultimate there. That ultimate's good. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to aim or anything. Okay, cast abilities to gain stacks. There you go. There's 2 stacks on Jarvan. Stun enemies marked by full stacks. There's the 3rd stack, and then it stuns them. Okay. Looks like a full second of a stun. There's the throw damaging shuriken. Simple enough. Shock marked enemies nearby. Cool. Adding a mark as well. Transform into electrical ball, it says. Oh, it doesn't really do that in the Wild Rift version. It looks way different in League. And then, yeah, Slicing Maelstrom. Okay, you know, okay, so the abilities are a little bit more simplistic than I guess I thought. It's more just like you really want to put marks on the same people. Which, you know, I'm making it sound so easy. But it probably isn't. And that was a really cool, you know, thing that he basically ends up doing in the cinematic. Oh, we got like a Freljordian Kennen. Oh, you know what? I never even realized. We don't really get to see Kennen's face, do we? We see this. I wonder if any other skins reveal more of Kennen's face. I mean, we're seeing hair here. Interesting, interesting, interesting. But yeah, okay, discussing this little part here. Literally, he does what? He does Lightning Storm or dashes in. Yeah, no, he does Lightning Storm and then he does Slicing Maelstrom. Which is pretty cool. All right, let me know again in the comments how good Kennen is in Wild Rift, in League, whichever, right? All right, and so I have queued up literally just the part in the Awaken cinematic where Kennen comes in. It looks like he Lightning Storms his way in and then does the ultimate, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's all we see of Kennen. That's probably the last and only time we'll see of Kennen. Who knows when you know, it would have been nice to see Kennen maybe show up in like some of the Noxus cinematics, just because, you know, there was like Yunara and Xinjiao there, but you know, we didn't have any Kennen in that. All right, everybody, I did not see a champion theme for Kennen, so it looks like we're gonna dive right into the Kennen reveal for Legends of Runeterra, at least. You know, not every character gets one of these trailers, so this is cool.
I possess the secrets of Kinku. I have mastered the rain, lightning, and clouds.
Pause. Let's see. 1 mana, 2/1 Yordle with quick attack. When I'm summoned, create a Mark of the Storm in hand. There you go. Perfect. And then you've so level up when you've summoned the same ally 5 times this game. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I wonder what the level up really has to do with Kennen, but fair enough. Oh, you know what? I do want to see what the Mark of the Storm does in Legends of Runeterra. Grant an enemy Mark of the Storm if they already have it. Remove the mark to stun and deal 2 to them instead. Okay. You don't need 3 marks in this one. That makes sense, though.
Your technique lacks technique.
Your technique
I
lacks
am a
technique.
student of impeccable breath.
Gust Monk.
Wind, that which has no form.
First time hearing Yordle speak, I think, and I mean, no, I've heard Kennen speak before, but not like this, I suppose.
This is Tempest.
Of course, we'll get into the voice lines in Legends of Runeterra later. How would Kennen work in Legends of Runeterra? He has a weird level up ability. He's got a weird, like, you get marks of the storm. It's an odd mechanic. You're definitely summoning Kennen a lot, getting more marks of the storm, so it's like re-summoning him and like putting him back in your hand kind of ordeal. Like, that's my guess. Yeah, cards to like put it back in your hand, get another mark.
You will see my final move.
Oh, was he just... Hold on. Was he just on top of a dragon? Excuse me? He was on a dragon's tail. And then Kennen throws a thundering shuriken directly at the dragon's eyeball. That's crazy. Okay, so then, let's see. Kennen is a 3-2. When I'm summoned, blocked, or attack, create a mark of the storm in hand. So any basic things, basically. Cool.
Wind and thunder.
More marks of the storm. I don't know how good Mark of the Storm would be late game, but, you know...
And lightning.
He's just, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? He just used 2 Mark of the Storms to take out somebody that had 4 HP, so seems pretty good. There's 4 Mark of the Storms. Now he's just zapping everybody. Okay. I mean, based on this trailer, it's obviously making Kennen look like kind of OP. I imagine it's not this easy. You guys that played Legends of Runeterra, let me know.
This is Tempest. I serve the Kinku. They could
I
not
serve the
hope to win.
Kinku. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Kennen seems like one of those decks where you're just summoning him a lot, getting Mark of the Storm, and then just using it as much as possible, basically. All right, let me know how he is in Legends of Runeterra, everybody. Kennen seems to have a decent amount of skins. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of them here in this video. It looks like the newest one is Astronaut Kennen, and we're starting off with that one. I tend to like the Astronaut skins. The Shuriken looks cool as well. All right. Sound effects are cool. Oh, the marks of the storm are, it looked like they were like asteroids or meteors. Okay, I like that a lot, actually. That's really cool. He's got a little jetpack as well on the back. Oh, this is a really cool skin. Holy, hold on. Yes. Oh my god, I love all of the like space effects and everything with this skin. Okay, this one so far, obviously it's the first skin, but this one so far is like knocking it out of the ballpark. This is really, really good. Oh, we got the little alien guy, as always. Love it. Cool. That was a good recall. I think it was pretty solid. Oh, we have some death animations as well. Okay.
Yes, they make shurikens this small. Big targets are the best.
Wait, the alien's in the shuriken. I just realized. Oh, and now we're breakdancing. Okay. Now we're breakdancing. Very fun. What was that? What did I... Wait, what did I just watch? Okay. Next one is DWG Kennen. Oh, I like the colors for DWG here. This like blue and white. Oh, we're like really seeing Kennen's face here. Hold on. I need to see the actual... Kennen looks like a raccoon here, though. Doesn't look like a Yordle. Sound effects. Now, again, I haven't heard the original sound effects, so I don't know how different this is. That looks a little different. It looks like there's a little bit of a, like a, I don't know, DWG essence to it. Okay, why does Kennen look like this? Is this what Kennen's supposed to look like underneath? I have no clue. I want to say probably not. But all right, let's move it ahead. Let's go straight to the recall here. The Mark of the Storm looks exactly the same as far as I can tell. There you go. We got the signature. Hugging the... I have no idea what. And sleeping. That was kind of a cute recall, actually. Death animation.
Yes, they make shurikens this small.
Same voice line.
Big targets are the best.
Is he
There's
gonna...
more to aim at.
Is he gonna start breaking dancing and rolling on the ground? Is that gonna happen again? Is that just a Kennen thing? I'm so confused. What? I'm so confused. Okay, we have Infernal Kennen now. I like Infernal skins quite a bit too. And this one looks good. Looking real good. I like the fire effect on top. I like the fiery hair. The Mark of the Storms is like a face that's like kind of laughing at you. That lightning storm looks good. Yeah. Infernal skin just seems to work with a lot of characters. I think that's what it is. I like the lightning effect being like this orange color, which is like somehow still working and making it cool. Yeah, look at that ultimate. That's so cool. Dang, okay. Let's go straight to the recall, I think. Oh, we're just breathing. Oh. Best recall yet, I think. The astronaut one being the second. That was really good. I enjoyed that. All right, we don't need to see all this rolling around on the ground. I don't know what's going on there. Next up, what is this? Super Kennen. Oh, we made Kennen a superhero? But like a toy, it looked like. Who else was in that splash art? Alistair and Renekton? Have I seen that? I guess I've seen that Renekton, apparently. I don't recall. Okay. So he literally has a lightning bolt. Oh, I like the little superhero pose when he's flying around. I guess that's cool. Yeah, and the lightning, when he throws the shuriken, you know, you can see it in the actual throw. I like the superhero aspects to it. It's actually kind of goofy, but kind of cool at the same time. We're just making Kennen a superhero. He does have pretty superhero kind of abilities, to be fair. I mean, oh, wow. Yeah, see, that looks really good in my opinion. Okay, recall. This is probably his basic recall. Based on how expensive this one was, I'm going to guess that's it, because literally nothing happens. Okay, it looks like there's extra time here. Is there something special? No? Are we going to just roll around again? It's more rolling around. You guys are going to have to explain the rolling around to me in the comments. We got Blood Moon Kennen. Okay, Blood Moon Kennen or Blood Moon skins are pretty good too. This one looks like it's on the cheaper side, so maybe it doesn't have like a lot of animations or anything with it. Okay, I like the red. I like the Mark of a Storm there. Pretty cool. Just some red floating orbs. The mask that Kennen's wearing is cool. Ooh, he goes into this like little shadow when he flies around. That's nice. That's actually pretty good. The red and the black is a cool color combo as well. I usually like that color combo. I mean, it's giving Zed a little bit, right? But, you know, the actual look of Kennen is quite different. Ultimate looks good too. Let's look at the recall. Is he actually doing something different? He is. That was kind of cool, but also kind of scary. I think that gets extra points because of that. Actually made me a little scared. All right, moving on. We have Arctic Ops Kennen. You know, that skin that I saw in the Wild Rift trailer, that must be a Wild Rift only skin is going to be my guess. I don't think it's this one, but maybe it is. Let me look at the splash art again. It doesn't look like it. So we have Arctic Ops. I guess we're just doing Call of Duty skins for some reason in League of Legends at the time. I mean, it has the ninja look still. It works. Just going with you know, a winter camouflaged Kennen. It looks like the effects are all the basic same though. I'm not really seeing any difference. The recall is also the basic recall. So I think it's okay. Blood Moon actually had some different stuff going on with it. So that was cool. Moving right along. What do we have now? Kennen MD. Cho'Gath. Well, you ate a person. This splash art is crazy. How old is this skin? My goodness. What is he throwing? Is it just two knives? Or those, yeah, those knives that doctors use? I don't know what they're called. Not off the top of my brain right now. Okay. I have questions about this skin. What's the Mark of the Storm? Why does it look like a bomb? Is that supposed to be a bomb? I'm so confused. Or like a potion bottle? I mean, the colors are a little bit different here. They're going with the, you know, the scrubs color, I guess. The hat that Kennen's wearing. I don't know what's going on with this. Is the recall? Yeah, recall is the basic recall. That skin's kind of weird. Karate Kennen. We got some old skins here, y'all. This is probably a flashback for some of you here. Any Kennen fans seeing some of these old skins. This is Kennen. I mean, we're seeing Kennen without a mask again. Kennen seems interesting looking. I don't know if anybody ever talks about how Kennen looks. Because, you know, anytime I think of Kennen, I'm always thinking of Kennen with a hood on. So I'm never, like, looking at this aspect of Kennen. I don't know if you guys are. Yeah, we have a gold shuriken. And Kennen's in a karate outfit. I mean, there's not much else going on with it. Is the recall... Recall's no different. Moving right along. Okay, next is Swamp Master Kennen. Sure. Swamp Master Kennen. So Kennen is now green. And... this is basically a recolor of Kennen and a recolor of the outfit. And there's a little bit going on with the shuriken and stuff as well. Okay, I guess we made Kennen a Swamp Master for some reason. Maybe to give him like the Yoda effect? I don't know. Moving right along, we have Deadly Kennen. Now see, this looks like Deadpool. What are we doing? These first skins for Kennen, I know Kennen's old, but they're very interesting. They definitely got more creative towards the end here. Or actually, once they got to Blood Moon Kennen, that's when they got kind of creative. These original ones here, Arctic Ops, you could consider that a Call of Duty skin. Kennen MD, that's just a doctor. Karate Kennen, that's a karate outfit. You know what I mean? They got real creative towards the newer ones here. And then this one just looks like a Deadpool skin, and it's basically just a recolor again. Actually, that might be something else from mythology or something that I also don't know, but it just looks like Deadpool to me. All right, and then we have Classic Kennen, of course, which we don't really need to see that. Is there a different recall for Classic Kennen? I assume not. Yeah, okay. All right, I don't want to, you know, Kennen doesn't have that many skins, actually. If you really think about it, everybody, a lot of these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skins here are pretty old and outdated, in my opinion. You know, I still think they would be fun to see in-game. Like, if I just saw somebody running around as Dr. Kennen, that might be still, like, I might get a little giggle out of it, for sure. But once I got the Blood Moon Kennen, that's when you really saw them, like, kind of cooking a little bit. This is going to be pretty much an easy one for me, in my opinion. So realistically, my top 3 skins, and I want to hear from you guys what your favorite 3 skins are. It's easy peasy though. It's definitely going to be Astronaut Kennen, Infernal Kennen, and it's a close one between it's a close one between the remaining ones, but I actually think I'm going to go with DWG Kennen. You know, I have no ties to DWG or anything like that. I think Kennen looks interesting enough here. I like the animations for this one as well. Super Kennen, pretty funny. I think Blood Moon Kennen also pretty good as well, but I think I really truly like the DWG one the most out of those 3 remaining. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think Kennen is due for a new skin anytime, though. All right, there's only a little tiny bit of league trivia for him. So it says his dance references the air flare, a break dance move, and then he shares this dance with Camille. Yep, she's swinging those legs around, those metal legs. Her dance is very similar to Project Veins, whose dance is a similar breakdance move. And then Kennen used to gain the Law of Inverse Ninja Strength cosmetic Easter egg debuff. This unit is a flippin' ninja. Ninjas are more effective when they work alone. For every ninja on your team beyond yourself, you lose 1 health. When he, Akali, Shen, and Zed found themselves on the same team, it was removed in V 3.14 for unknown reasons. Yeah, I remember reading about this little trivia from the other characters. Okay, let's move on to the actual wiki. All right, taking a look at Kennen's wiki, we have the main version of Kennen here. We have Unmasked Kennen. This must come from like some comic that I haven't seen. It says Unmasked and Pilgrimage, and we have Armored Kennen. So there's a good look at Kennen in this little portrait here. Aliases are the Heart of the Tempest and Master Kennen. Age is at least 9,996 years old, born earlier than 9,000 BN. Weapons are a Thundering Shuriken and Electric Magic. Place of origin being Bandle City, current residence Temple of Koshin and Ionia. Okay, let's hear what's going on with Kennen in the wiki here. Now there's going to be some repeat things, so I think what I'm going to do is skip over the obvious things and just go into the things that, you know, maybe I don't know or maybe you guys don't know. So Ancient Times just talks about him moving from Bandle City to the First Lands, his acceptance into the Kinku. We kind of know that he becomes the heart of the Kinku, you know, between the Eye of the Twilight and the Fist. Then we have the War of the False Kanmei. So this is going to be the newer stuff here because we got some Zahen and Yunara mentioned. So let's take a look. In one ancient conflict, the First Lands were invaded by a host of malevolent beings known as the Darken, fallen god warriors who had ravaged most of Valoran and Shurima in their conquest. Kennen, alongside the Eye of Twilight, Bainan, and the Fist of Shadow Lao, each hoped to preserve the balance against these invaders, but sometime after Lao was killed by the Bloodweaver Sholani, the Kinku accepted an offer to ally with the Darken who had turned against his brethren, Zahen. Lao's successor, Yunara, kept an eye on and fought alongside Zahen for the next 3 years until the Fallen Ones were sealed within their weapons. When the war had ended, Zahen requested he be imprisoned as well for fear of his own nature, and Bainan tasked Yunara to guard his glaive within the spirit realm for all time. So again, these are, this is current stuff that was revealed to us pretty recently. After Yunara and Zahen were safely banished to the Temple of Twilight, Kennen and the other Kinku rewrote the history of the Great Darken War into a wholesome fable known as the Tale of the Devoted Shrine Maiden, which cast Yunara as a humble shrine maiden and Zahen as her patron Kanmei, whom she followed into exile after freeing the world from the armies of false gods. With this story, the people of Ionia would be allowed to forget the hardship of the past and continue their lives in peace for centuries more. That's pretty cool to hear this because, in the story that we read for Kennen, we truly hear about like how sometimes, he's really interested in human stories, but sometimes it's better to lie. We have the Noxian invasion of Ionia. I'm assuming this is all just like in order, I guess, of the time span or when it happens. Okay, so during the Noxian invasion of Ionia, it really just discusses, Zed's coup, basically Shen being the Eye of Twilight and Akali eventually leaving the Kinku order. That's really all we get in there. But then we have Return of Zahen. So let's read about this. Spirit Blossom Festival. Sometime after being ousted from Thanjul, the Kinku order took up residence in the Temple of Koshien to rebuild. Noxians withdrew from Ionia following the rise of a grand general, and barely a season after the invaders left, the whole of Ionia bloomed with spirit blossoms, allowing for the first Spirit Blossom Festival in years. During the festival, Kennen encountered the Demacian seneschal Xinjiao, who had come seeking wisdom about a wild bloom which had sprouted in the royal gardens. Even though he had been born in Raikon, Xinjiao confessed he felt like an outsider in Ionia, having been gone so long. Kennen offered Xinjiao wisdom and also invited him toward the Kinku temple, where the seneschal planted his wild bloom sapling on the mountain. As Kennen and Xinjiao were meditating near the peak, they heard a noise of a demonic incursion into Koshien. As Xinjiao went to fight the evil spirits, Kennen left to inform Master Shen and Mame. After speaking with Shen, Kennen returned to find Xinjiao had defeated the demonkin with the help of Yunara, who had left her post at the Temple of Twilight to fight the demons. In the distance, they had heard the temple had been breached by an unknown invader. Cool. And I have reactions to all of this. We got Otacon. I have reactions to Otacon. I have reactions to like all the cinematics that are kind of being mentioned here. And then we have the Trials of Twilight. As they were leaving for the Temple of Twilight, Xinjiao experienced a dark vision of his home kingdom in ruins, and he demanded to know what he and the Kinku were up against. As the seneschal had helped defeat the demonkin, Kennen and Yunara decided Xinjiao could be trusted, and they informed him the truth of what had transpired in Ionia during the Great Darken War, basically giving him all the info. Kennen and Yunara both believed the Darken were behind the attack and that they intended to free Zahen from his prison in the Temple of Twilight. Although Kennen had been ready to lead all the Kinku acolytes into the temple, they found it had already retreated back to the spirit realm. This meant only 2 people at most could enter at once, and they would have to undergo the Trials of Twilight. After learning this, Kennen assigned the acolytes to equip Xinjiao with new armor and a repaired spear, and he opened the portal to the spirit realm so he and Yunara would be able to make it back safely. Well, we know what happens. That's how we have Zahen now. So there's the discharging of the Raishai acolytes. That's the story that we read earlier in this reaction. Go, listen to that part if you haven't. That's all we have. Okay, so we're gonna get into the appearance now. Kennen is a cream-furred yordle with light brown hair and deep blue eyes. Usually he dresses in a purple ninja outfit with golden details. Personality. Kennen is a paradoxical being due to his nature as a yordle. Simultaneously an ancient being and an unaging spirit, Kennen can shift from a wise master to excitable and childlike in an instant. When he first arrived on the mortal plane, Kennen became fascinated with humans and how they managed to do so much in so little time. After joining the Kinku Order, Kennen took the responsibility of recording the history of the Kinku and serving as the mediator of conflicts between the mortal and spiritual plane. All right, talking about his abilities, we have obviously Yordle Physiology, which comes with immortality and Yordle Magic. Then he specifically has electric magic. Befitting his title as the Heart of the Tempest, Kennen is a master in electric magic. He can wield electricity from small sparks to immense waves of lightning. Kennen's connection to the powers of the storm is such that he can summon massive electric storms capable of destroying entire armies and create a ball of electricity that managed to hurt even Sion and bring the Juggernaut temporarily down. Electric conduction and flight are a part of the electric magic. Pretty crazy that he can fly because of the electric magic. And then we have Kinku Order techniques. So, the things that he would have learned from the Kinku Order, such as dominating much larger opponents, running at great speeds without being seen, using stealth to hide from danger, etc., etc. And we have our relationships. Kinku Order. Kennen, Akali, and Shen are members of the Kinku Order. Like Shen, his duty is to preserve balance in Ionia. We have Akali. Kennen was one of Akali's mentors, teaching her shuriken techniques and emphasizing speed and agility over strength. He convinced her mother Mame, the previous Fist of Shadow, to choose her as the successor. Kennen and Akali assisted Irelia alongside Yasuo and Karma in a resistance in a seaside village against the Noxian army that included Sion. Then we have Zed. The Kinku Order is at war with Zed and his Order of Shadow. Kennen is willing to forgive the Master of Shadows should he be willing to seek redemption. And then Teemo, it just says Kennen is a friend of Teemo. Okay, talking about content for Kennen, we did read the biography for him, we did watch the music video Awaken, and we did read the short story Between Light and Shadows. There's a couple of other things in here. There's the Pilgrimage comic, which I have not seen. This must be a new comic, it looks like. We have the Magic Misadventures video, which I have seen. And then we have the game called The Battle of Coalition. I don't know about that game. You guys will have to let me know about that one. That's a new thing, it looks like. And then we have another short story called The Bow and the Kunai that he stars in. I think that's is that an Akali story? I'm not quite sure. And then there's another comic called The Truth. So a couple of newer comics in here where you have Kennen taking part. So that's where you learn about some of these things that I actually didn't know about. The Pilgrimage one, though, is cool because you do get to see Kennen with his hood off. The trivia is pretty small. It says Kennen is an ancient being having arrived in Runeterra millennia ago. The Heart of the Tempest's duty is to maintain the balance, the Eye of Twilight, and the Fist of Shadow, as well as communicate the judgments of the Order to those affected by them. I wonder if we'll ever get, a new Heart of the Tempest. It seems like we're always replacing the Eye of the Twilight and the Fist of Shadow. I wonder if there's anybody in the Kinku Order who's like, man, Kennen's been in that Heart of the Tempest role forever. I kind of want to take it over. I don't know if that'll ever be like a thing that happens in the future. That'd be interesting. All right, a decent amount of stuff in here. Kennen's really cool. I think Kennen has risen to, just the top in terms of like Yordles and in terms of how cool he is. He's just literally a Yordle that has electric magic, has lived for a very long time. He has empathy for humans. He seems really like chill. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? There's like no flaws to Kennen, I feel like. Maybe he cares too much about certain things. That would be like a flaw, but like that's it. He doesn't seem like he has anything wrong with him. He seems pretty dope. All right, guys, we have the rest of the reaction is going to be Legends of Runeterra voice lines and then the League voice lines. So strap in. Let's go ahead and listen to those. Okay, we're using Skin Spotlight's YouTube video. Let's dive right into these.
Have I mastered the clone technique too well? Probably.
Two
I
Kennens.
see you, and I see me. Wait, which one of us is talking?
The balance requires a watchful eye.
Yes, and lightning. Lots of lightning.
That's funny.
We meet again,
Ooh.
old friend.
Ooh.
It's not too late for you. The Kinku needs Usan back.
Usan back. I feel like this is literally Kennen's flaw. He's like too forgiving of people. That would be definitely like his biggest issue, right?
Have enlightened me.
That's not the way shadows work.
Do not
Good
fear
point,
the
actually.
shrouded path.
Who fears a shroud? Ha! That's a scarf.
We both walk between worlds.
You protect your side, and me, mine.
Okay.
Are you ready for
Tristana.
anything?
I'm always armed.
Firepower solves everything!
Your technique lacks technique.
Dang.
Everything's better with company.
Says you.
My students, you will learn to work together.
Okay.
Hey now,
Cool.
where are your
He is a
fellows?
teacher after all.
picked the wrong road.
Ember.
Ready, master.
I will avenge my student.
We got a lot of students for him.
Fancy showing them your thunder slap?
Ha ha ha! I will silence them.
Thunder
I will
Fist.
avenge my student. The clouds are in the wind.
And the storm is unleashed on the mountain.
Ooh.
I will avenge my student.
I like Risu.
Wind, help your fellows.
Gust
Of
Monk.
course, my master.
We got a monk for every
I will
element.
avenge my student. Cyclone, attack from
Tornado
behind.
Warrior.
Yes, teacher. My blows will strike.
This is cool. I didn't realize he had so many students.
Cyclone strike. Calm is the tornado. For its fury is only in our hearts.
Oh,
I
very
will avenge
into
my
it.
student.
He's gonna avenge every
Dare
student.
strike my friend? You dared kill Kusho. They
Hmm.
hesitate, but we will strike. Do you realize now there is no hope to win against him?
I kind of like
style?
Kennen's voice.
Had enough, have you?
He sounds kind of
Patience is a virtue.
squirrely.
Not much. Waiting for the right moment? The Tempest gathers.
Tempest Gathers is a
It's
good one.
still gathering. This
Okay.
is Tempest style.
Tempest
The storm
style.
has broken them. I serve the Kinku. They
Mhm.
could not hope to win. They have an impressive technique. It is not in victory that we learn.
True.
Thank you for this lesson.
Yeah.
We will meet again.
You learn
I
in
see.
defeat.
You refuse to give up. Thunder.
Already on it,
Just
master.
thunder. So basically, like a lot of the voice lines for these are just him kind of like teaching his students or telling his students like when to strike. It's like they're going through some training or something like that, right?
Wind, that which has no form.
Strikes from angles unexpected.
True. I do like Risu. Risu, the Silent Storm, was kind of a cool. It looks like a cool card too.
Clouds?
Manifesting.
Manifesting. Aren't we all?
My student, what technique will you use?
Embers of desolation.
Oh, he's the emo one. All right, so we're going to take a look at the rest of the voice lines for Legends of Runeterra on the wiki because the video doesn't have everything. So let's continue on. We have his summoned voice lines.
Balance in all things. I am lightning. I break the wind.
I break the wind. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. My thought went straight to, yeah, you know what? Okay.
I have mastered the rain, lightning, and cloud styles.
Oh, he has all the styles.
I possess the secrets of Kinku.
True.
I have studied every fighting manual.
Okay, we just have a few more here. Let's see.
Hi-ya!
And then we have his level up voice lines.
Now you will see my final move.
Oh my God, that's like an, I feel like that's an anime voice line or something. Oh.
Ultimate Tempest Strike.
It's like when they're like calling out their moves in like an anime or something. That's funny. Okay, attacks declared.
The silent death. Wind and thunder. Rain and lightning. This is Tempest. If you can fight, show me.
Kennen shows no fear. Like there's zero fear in this man's voice lines. Then we have blocks.
Ready. You have much to learn. Think you're fast enough?
Probably not.
Let me see your technique.
Who is faster than Kennen? Like that lightning storm ability makes him super, super fast. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's got to be somebody faster than Kennen. No, I can't think. We have the death voice lines.
Sorry.
Oh.
Well done.
Oh. Oh no, Kennen's death voice lines in Legend of Runeterra are like really sad. And then we have Chosen.
Tempest style is the strongest technique.
Okay, he's kind of goofy.
Foolish is the one who doubts my technique.
To be fair, he's super duper old, so. Okay, so those are his Legend of Runeterra voice lines. I think these are pretty solid. What do you guys think? I haven't listened to the old ones yet, or the League ones yet, so I don't have anything to compare to. But I think overall, I get the vibe of Kennen. A lot of the voice lines or interactions are obviously him with his students, which, you know, I knew he was a teacher because we know that he trained a Kali, right? Which, I mean, obviously, if he trained a Kali, you got to think pretty highly of Kennen, at least I do, in my opinion. So pretty cool. You know, we have his interactions with some of the monk students. It's pretty cool. He seems to be a pretty good teacher if, you know, he's having to teach a lot of people. None of them seem to be like complaining about his teaching or anything in any of the voice lines. And then, of course, there's some interactions with Shen and Zed. I think those work just fine. Other than that, yeah, I think, you know, he talks about like different techniques, different styles. That makes sense, right? He's somebody that probably knows a lot of different techniques and styles. That's how he's a teacher. So those voice lines all make sense. You know, he does talk about wind and thunder, rain and lightning, those kinds of things too. A lot of element talk as well, because he probably knows those techniques, so that's why he talks about them. But clearly electric magic or the tempest magic seems to be his favorite technique and the best technique for Kennen. But yeah, let's see what they have for the League of Legends voice lines. I wonder how different they're going to be. If there's still going to be like the same kind of talk. Let's see. Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to start off with the pick sound effect. Lightning.
The eyes never lie.
I think they do, but sure. And then a ban.
A silent death.
Okay, we have moving voice lines. Obviously, there's also the astronaut voice lines here too, but we're just doing the original.
I am the wind. Steady. Yes.
Oh, excited. See what I mean? Like, this man is never scared. He's ready to go in.
Balance in all things. Let's do it. Ready.
See? He's ready. He's ready to go. Kennen has no fear. We have a taunt.
Big targets are the best. There's more to aim at.
This man has no fear. It's crazy. He's, you know, just a little yordle, but he's confident in his ability. Let's say that.
Yes, they make shurikens this small.
And that is the joke. I think I heard it in one of the videos earlier, but that's still pretty funny. Yeah, Kennen doesn't have too many voice lines. Let's go right into it, though. We have his laughs. Why was that kind of funny? He just does a little giggle. Okay, this third one, the best one. It's like such a little giggle, you know? All right, basic attacks.
Yeah.
Grunts. And then we have attacking.
for Ionia.
Oh, not for Demacia. Not for Noxus. We got for Ionia. Is this the first character to say for Ionia? I'm sure there's another one, but I don't know if this is actually mocking Garen or, I mean, truly, Kennen would be a character to say for Ionia, right?
Hiya!
Not the Haya.
Time to strike. Their final moments approach.
That's crazy.
A silent death from the shadows.
All right, and then ability casting, we have Thundering Shuriken.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Just grunts. Using Electrical Surge. Ooh. We're getting some yells in there. Lightning Rush. Oh, he does a little laugh. He's having a good time when he's using Lightning Rush. Recasting and ending Lightning Rush. Just some exhales. Using his ultimate. I'm really yelling in those. And then we have Kennen's death, crying out in pain. You know, see, some of the death voice lines always crack me up. Those are solid. And what's interesting is his laughs and his deaths, very short. I like those. I think the ones where they're like super duper long just make me laugh in the end. So, okay, not that many voice lines in League. That's fine. We had the Legends of Runeterra ones. I was pleasantly happy with those. And I think, honestly, these are okay. These are fine. I don't think there was anything I was like rooting for. Obviously, more interactions would be nice with other champs. That's always a wish of mine. But I think I was pleasantly satisfied with the ones that we had in Legends of Runeterra. Although, I did notice we didn't have any with Akali. I must be tripping. Maybe when we did the Akali reaction, maybe there was some there. But very interesting to have none for Akali when he clearly trained her, and there's a relationship there, right? So that is something that is missing. Okay, the trivia says, the eyes never lie. Oh, might be referencing the Eye of Twilight's unbiased judgment. Oh, see, I was taking it literally. And then Kennen shares quotes with Shen from the Shadows. He shares quotes with Ezreal, Time to Strike, and he shares a quote with Irelia, balance in all things. Yep, that makes sense for him in Irelia, I think. All right, everybody. These were super duper good voice lines. I enjoy Kennen. Like I said, I think pretty highly of Kennen. I think in terms of a Yordle, he's very stoic. He seems like if I had to choose a Yordle to be my protector or something, or to be like cool friends with, I think Kennen would be probably pretty up there, if not my choice. Kennen seems really cool. He doesn't seem like he gets angry. He doesn't seem like he has any fear. He seems like he's really helpful. All kinds of positive things to say about Kennen. Yeah, and I mean, he just seems really intelligent, has empathy, and seems like a dope Yordle in my opinion. And he's been around for a long time, and he hasn't changed in all of that time, right? It seems like that might be a flaw, I guess, but he has some really, really good qualities that I like about him. You guys will have to let me know if there's some additional things that I missed. Obviously, we just had some recent-ish Kennen lore with the whole Yunaris and Zhao stuff and Zahen and all that, but he was really just kind of like a side character and all of that. He helped out. He did some things to help them along the way, but he wasn't truly like the main focus in the newer stuff, which is totally fine. At least he was still included, right? And in terms of future lore for Kennen, I think he is kind of a character that will definitely still have some new stuff for him in the future, because he's in a focal point in Ionia. He's in a focal point in the Kinku Order. Like the Kinku Order being Shen, Kennen, Yunara, all that stuff. It's pretty important, I think, for any Ionia lore in general. So they can't not include him in stuff. Same with Zed being an Eye of or the Shadow Order, stuff like that, right? He's got to be included, and I don't think Kennen's just going to be like pushed to the side in terms of like lore and stuff in the future. So I think Kennen will definitely get some new stuff for him. He's been around forever. I think some new stuff for Kennen would be pretty cool if we eventually get like another Noxus invasion. Who knows, right? There might be some cool stuff brewing for Kennen and Ionia here in the future. I do appreciate all of you coming along with this journey, taking a look at all of the League of Legends champions. I've been having a great time doing it. We're going to continue doing this. I am doing everything in alphabetical order at this point. I don't know who is next. I know Kha'Zix we haven't done yet, so he might be next, but who knows? We're doing everything alphabetical. So if you have a specific champion that you're waiting for my reaction for, just know I'm doing things alphabetically currently, but I might have your reaction for your champion up already on the YouTube channel, so go look for that in the League of Legends playlist that I have on the channel. All right, everybody, thanks again for watching these. Please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. It'll help other people see it, get a little bit more interactions going, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more League of Legends content or any of the other content on my page. I do appreciate everybody stopping by, though, and just saying hello. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.